One morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to Tidmouth Sheds. "A new engine has arrived on the island," he announced. "His name is Neville. You must all make him feel welcome. A happy engine is a useful engine." Later, Thomas was stopped at a signal. The signalman called down to Thomas, "The bridge ahead is unsafe. Thomas, you are to collect a piece of ironwork so the bridge can be repaired." "Yes, sir," huffed Thomas. Here's the bridge. It's broken. How are you going to fix that? That's a lot of work. At the yards, Harry and Bert were with Neville and the new engine. Neville was a steamy, but he had a square body like a diesel. Neville was backing up towards some trucks. "Nearly there," said Harry cheekily. "Nearly there," said Bert naughtily. Then there was trouble. "Watch where you're going, clumsy wheels." Harry and Bert laughed. Neville looked sad. "It's not our fault if you're a silly steamy," oiled Bert. Then they laughed even harder. Oh my gosh. Thomas arrived at the yards. He could see Harry and Bert laughing with Neville. That must be the new engine, he thought. He must be friends with the Diesels. Thomas arrived at Knapford Station. "Have you seen the new engine yet?" asked James. "Yes," said Thomas, "but we'd better be careful. I saw him at the yards with Harry and Bert. They were laughing together." James was shocked. A steamy, friendly with Diesels? See, that's Harry and Bert, the Diesels, and then there's Thomas talking to James. As Thomas left, Edward pulled in. "Have you heard about the new engine?" snorted James, and he started to tell Edward all about Neville. Later, Edward was taking on water. He was talking to Percy. "That new steamy Neville is best friends with the Diesels." Edward puffed. "He doesn't want to be with steamies at all." "How do you know?" peeped Percy. "James told me, and Thomas told him," whistled Edward. Later, Percy met Emily at a red signal. "Don't go near Neville, the new engine," he told her. "The Diesels have told him to biff into steamies." "Edward told me." James told Edward, and they heard all about it from Thomas. When Thomas arrived at Abbey Station, Sir Topham Hatt was there. "Thomas, you must warn all engines not to cross the bridge until it's repaired," he boomed. Thomas felt proud. It was a very useful job. Just then he heard a whistle. Someone was coming. Thomas had to warn them. It was Neville pulling Annie and Clarabelle. Thomas was shocked. Annie and Clarabelle were his carriages. "Hello," puffed Neville cheerfully. "I'm not talking to you," Thomas huffed crossly. Neville didn't know what he had done. Why is he being so mean? Then Emily pulled in next to Neville. "Hello," said Neville happily. Emily let out a wheesh of steam. "It's no use trying to make friends with me. I know you're going to biff into all the steamies, just like Harry and Bert told you to." Thomas was surprised, but the station master blew his whistle, and Neville puffed sadly away. "Don't you know?" Emily whistled. "Percy told me, Edward told Percy, James told Edward, and you told James," huffed Emily. "But I only said to James that I'd seen Neville with Harry and Bert." Then Toby arrived. "Have you heard about Neville, the new engine?" he puffed. "Henry saw Harry and Bert be horrible to him at the yards." Emily looked shocked. Thomas couldn't believe it. Neville wasn't friends with the Diesels after all. "Where was Neville going?" Emily tooted. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. "Neville's heading for the broken bridge. I must stop him." Neville was speeding through the countryside as fast as he could. Suddenly, Neville saw a barrier on the track. He slammed on his brakes, but it was too late. Neville was in terrible trouble. He was on the broken end of the bridge. Look at that. He's going to go over. Oh no. What are they going to do? Thomas knew it was all his fault. Suddenly he had an idea. Thomas steamed slowly and carefully onto the bridge. He gently bumped Clarabelle and was coupled up. Thomas was very scared. Slowly and steadily he began to pull Neville back from the edge. The bridge made a creaking noise. Thomas knew he must hurry. He pulled as hard as he could. And with one big puff, he pulled Neville's wheels off the bridge. Thomas had done it. He had saved Neville and Annie and Clarabelle. "Thank you," whistled Neville. "I should have warned you," puffed Thomas, "but I was too busy believing silly stories. I thought you didn't like steamies, but now I know I was wrong." Thomas gave Neville a long, friendly toot-toot. Neville was very happy. At last he knew he had a good friend in Thomas. See? He's very relieved because he was saved. Thomas saved the day. The end. Alright, guys. It's time for bed. Go to sleep. Especially you, Nathan. Stay in bed tonight. Alright? Lucas, I love you. I love you, Nathan. And I love you too, Eli, very much. Give Mama hugs. Give Sissy hugs. And big kisses too, okay? I love you guys. Sweet dreams. Night.